Ooh, the gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Friday to you. LA Bowl really getting going today. 3 events on the docket. We got Rob Gronkowski doing a dance-off with the mascots later today at the pep rally. It's really going to get fun today, and excited to talk to you about it here on BroncoNationNews.com. I believe we're now, for the first time, also broadcasting live on Instagram. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not sure if it's still working or not, but if you're watching us on Instagram at the moment, please let us know. Get a comment in. We'll see if we're able to pull those into the show or not. But Jay Tust going to join us here momentarily. I'm in Los Angeles. Jay's in Los Angeles. And as I said, a lot to get to today here on BroncoNationNews.com. We appreciate you for joining us. And if you can hear me okay, I think the mixer just needed to dry out. If you were on with us yesterday, I spilled my energy drink on the mixer, and it wasn't working properly. So, by the way, wouldn't you know it, that I would once again have my energy drink sitting right next to the mixer. But I believe, fingers crossed, that we have fixed the problem, and it just needed some time to dry out, and we're good to go today. So appreciate all you guys for joining us. Jay Tust going to be jumping on here in just a second, and we will do that. So Nathaniel's flying in tomorrow. We've got some other folks as well that are on their way down, are already here. So tomorrow going to be a lot of fun with the game. But today you got 3 events. You got a charity event, and you got some different stuff going on. You got the big press conference with the 2 head coaches, and then you have the pep rally this afternoon. We'll try to get you plenty of footage that may even go, live from the press conference if we get, or from the press rally, the pep rally, I guess it's called, over by the stadium today. If we can figure that out, at a minimum, we'll get some footage and we'll send it back to you guys. So we appreciate all of that, but excited for you guys to be here today. We got a great show. We got Riley Smith continuing his element fencing reports. He's going to chat with Billy Bowens. We got some other player interviews. We got Eric Chinander live as well, and I guess we can start there with Eric Chinander. But first, hopefully you guys will subscribe. BNN 50 deal. Use that promo code BNN 50 deal. $50 full year, 1 year subscription. We'd love to have you, and you can read all of Mike Prater's columns, all of my columns, all of the different content from here in LA. Mike Prater just posted a column on the legacy of George Helani, and we will certainly hope that you will go read that and check it out. Again, BNN 50 deals, that promo code. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're trying to build the YouTube channel up here as well, and would love to have you jump on board with that. So excited for that, and we're going to get rolling here on a Friday edition of Bronco Nation News Live. Eric Chinander I had a chance to catch up one-on-one with Eric Chinander. It's about a 2-minute interview. He is the new defensive coordinator. We're going to play and hear from Eric Chinander in just a minute. But now I believe we are able to welcome in our man, Jay Tust. There he is. How are we doing, Jay?
Morning. One more sleep to go, man. This thing's
You may need to turn
over.
your mic up a little. I think you're a little low, at least on my end. You may want to go ahead and shoot that mic up a little higher there if you can.
Good morning.
There we go. Much better, at least on my end.
One more sleep to go, man. One more.
Yeah, and it's going to be a busy day today here in LA. There's 3 events on the docket. We have the charity event this morning where some of the red shirts and injured players kind of will be hanging out and playing with some kids at a local middle school. Rob Gronkowski expected to be in attendance playing with some of the kids and things. That should be fun. You have the press conference at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock back in Boise with both head coaches. We'll get our first look inside SoFi Stadium, get a chance to get some footage and things for that. And then I believe it's 5:30 this afternoon is going to be the pep rally. I can confirm that the Keith Stein Blue Thunder marching band has made it to LA because they are staying at my hotel. But we just got the press release from the Bowl. Rob Gronkowski will be participating in a dance-off with the mascots at the pep rally. So Buster Bronco and Rob Gronkowski. Who you got there, Jay?
I'm going to go Buster for sure. I think I have to say that.
Yeah, you probably do. But that's going to be fun. So I know there's going to be a lot of craziness, and I think we're all about it. Rob Gronkowski, you're hosting this bowl. Like, let's see if we can, see how crazy things get. And I assume he'll be presenting the championship belt to the winning team on Saturday. So I don't really know why Rob Gronkowski wanted to sponsor this bowl or be involved in this bowl. I don't know if he's the one that's paying money to get his name on this, or they're paying him, or I don't know how this is all working. But I'm
pretty sure they're paying him.
He'll be about around today at some different events, and we'll see. It should be fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of finally here. It's wild that it kind of feels like it takes to the day before to get a part of all these bowl activities and everything. Usually happens a little bit earlier in the week, but it should be a fun 24-hour build up to, a Pac-12 opportunity for Boise State. And we can no longer say that after this game, right, BJ? So a chance for Boise State to ride off into the sunset, or I should say a chance for the Pac-12 to ride off into the sunset with a loss from Boise State.
Yeah, well, this will be their last Pac-12 win, I guess. I mean, I don't know what next year, what you're going to be able to call those Washington State and Oregon State games, but yeah. That's a good point. Eric Chinander, Jay, I want to play a short interview. I had a chance to catch up with him after practice yesterday. I know he talked in the group session as well, but got him on the practice field there. Before I play this interview, the Bush Hamden one I thought was widely regarded as a positive mood. Everybody loved it. But I did see a little negativity on the Eric Chinander one on social media, looking back at some of his previous stops, and some folks wanted to pick out some, cherry pick some numbers there when he was at Nebraska or UCF. But, I'm just saying, it looked like the Bush Hamden one was a little, I'd say 99% well-received, 99.9. And I would say that the Eric Chinander was 85. I mean, it was still overwhelmingly positive, but I did see a couple comments. Just your thoughts on them going, promoting from within with Eric Chinander, and instead of maybe going with an outside hire there.
I mean, from the jump, BJ, Spencer Danielson has been very transparent with us that he likes a lot of the guys currently on his staff, and he's been very adamant that he wants to keep a large portion of this staff together. Eric Chinander is obviously included in that group. I had the sense, if you kind of paid attention to things going on the sidelines and things like that, I just kind of had a sense that ever since Spencer Danielson was promoted to the interim role, it seemed like Eric was a little more involved in communication and things like that. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of what I felt was happening. And so it doesn't really surprise me that he is the guy that Spencer Danielson turned to lead his defense. I will say this on Spencer Danielson is a first-year head coach. He's relatively young for being a head coach. And now he hires Eric Chenander to be his defensive coordinator. And Eric has some good experience, man. Like, he's been around the block. He's been a defensive coordinator. How many collective years? 5 collective years, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's had some experience doing this. 7 years. Yeah.
So 2 years at UCF, 5 years at Nebraska.
Okay. 5 at Nebraska. Yeah. And so that's valuable experience for Spencer Danielson to be able to lean on, I believe.
TJ says, Reigns and Tust rock. Appreciate you guys. Kurt Blake, BSU went cheap on the coordinators. The 2 highest coordinator contracts.
I don't think you can say that. Yeah, I don't think you can say that, Kurt. Like, Eric Chenander received the most lucrative assistant defensive coach deal in program history, and Bush Hamdan is the highest paid assistant coach in program history. I don't necessarily feel like they went the cheap route on this, and time will tell on Eric Chenander. We haven't really got the chance to see him with our own eyes as a defensive coordinator, but I think Bush is a really, really talented offensive coordinator. I do, and it helps having Ashton Genty back there, but you look at all the moving parts at times on offense this year for them to still do what they did. I know the fans will get caught up in 32.9 points per game at times, like they used to average 40, but the game is a little bit different these days, especially with the running clock after first downs. It's going to shrink scoring opportunities just because it takes plays out of a game, man. So a number for me that I thought was interesting is looking at yards per play. Boise State averaged 6.6 yards per play this season. That's the most that they've averaged in quite some time. And you look at over the previous 2 years, it's like almost a full yard more. So I think a lot of Bush Hamdan, and I personally think it's a great thing they were able to keep him.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, we don't know. I mean, Spencer Danielson could have interviewed 5 outside candidates or could have just decided this was it. So I think that's a little bit of a leap there. He says what I meant is there are better ones out there. Again, it's, who knows at this point, but Robbie Robinson, this was addressed already. He will not take over till after the bowl game. Did they say if Danielson will be acting DC for the bowl game, will Chenander take over for that? Nothing will change till after the bowl game. So Spencer Danielson will call the plays in the bowl game, and then Chenander will take over as the DC, I guess the second the game ends.
And real quick, the reason for that too is just continuity, right? Spencer's been doing it all year. There's already been so much change. If you can have one piece of continuity, might as well roll with it. And I also will remind you that this is such a quick turnaround. I mean, Boise State was playing in the Mountain West Conference Championship game less than 2 weeks ago. This is the earliest possible bowl game the Broncos could play in. So maybe if it was closer to the new year or something like that, maybe you'd have more time to tinker with things or try something. But the turnaround is so quick. They just want continuity. So Spencer's going to call plays, and gotten pretty good with him calling plays these last 3 weeks.
BSU Bill says bring back Jerron Johnson for safeties coach. Well, Jerron Johnson was at practice yesterday. I'll just say that. No, he's a SoCal guy. So him and Dante Dion both were out at practice yesterday, just kind of coming back to support their guys. I don't think the time commitment was something that maybe Jerron Johnson was quite ready for. Who knows at that point? But they do need 2 coaches. They now need a linebackers coach and a safeties coach because the DC that they now have in Eric Chenander will remain as the D-line coach. So they now need a linebackers coach essentially to replace Danielson, who is also the linebackers coach, and also the safeties coach to replace Kane Ione. Those are the 2 openings right now on the staff.
And I expect those to be outside hires. There's nobody that seems so obvious to be promoted on the staff. I don't think Ron Collins wants to get back into coaching full time. He really enjoyed his role as a defensive analyst, and his role has been elevated these last few weeks. But from my understanding, he's not, as involved in not necessarily football, but some of the other things outside of football. Yeah, as a full-time coach would be right now. So
you're saying like last year when our man Dirk Cutter was like, I ain't recruiting 1 second. You guys go recruit. I'm going to play golf.
Right. I don't want to put those words in Ron's mouth because I don't know that for sure. But something similar, I think is, safe to say there, BJ.
Jason says, just read Prater's column. Wow, awesome. Go George. We'll get to George Solani maybe a little bit later in the show, but yeah, go subscribe, $50, BNN 50 deal. Read Mike Prater's article on George Solani, his legacy. Kind of interesting. Jay, he kind of counted the number of coordinators, the number of position coaches, the number of change that has happened all across this program in the last 5-6 years since George Solani has kind of been one of the staples of this program and what he's had to go through offensively in particular. Everyone's kind of rooting for George Solani to have a big game and send himself out. But I mentioned Eric Chenander. I had a chance to catch up with him after practice. Let's hear from Eric Chenander, his style. People are kind of wondering, what's the defense going to look like? What's his style going to be? I asked him that. Here's Eric Chenander on becoming the new defensive coordinator at Boise State. Oh, hold on. I got to do one thing here. This is great on the fly. Here we go. Eric Chenander.
So proud to be part of this program. So proud to be with these young guys, man. It's a special group of guys. To be part of Coach Danielson's staff and what he's got going forward means the world to myself and my family, and we're just proud to be Broncos.
I don't know what your connection was originally when you came out here. I know maybe you were just looking for a job. I don't know, but just what was it about Spencer and just that made you want to stick around?
Yeah, I just think the way that he just leads a group of men, and he's done a great job so far leading this program, and he'll grow as he continues in his new role. But I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be a head coach for a long time and a guy that people are talking about for a really long time.
I know you've been at DC before. I mean, how excited are you to get back into that role?
I'm excited. It was a good year to catch your breath a little bit and get into a new place with some new people and have some new ideas thrown your way and learn from Coach Danielson and the rest of the staff. But it's really exciting to get back into that role. It's going to be a lot of work, and I know I got a high standard to hold at Boise State, but it's exciting.
What is your kind of style, or what are we going to see from an Eric Chenander defense?
Yeah, we won't deviate much from Coach Danielson's defense. He's still going to be part of it. He's still going to be, having input in the defense, which we want him to. He's an excellent defensive football coach, so we won't deviate much from the system, but we've already talked about some things we can maybe add or just some tweaks we can put into the defense as we move forward.
Was it pretty easy? I mean, the negotiations or whatever, when this first came up from Spencer, was it kind of a no-brainer for you? Or
we made no qualms about the fact that we wanted to stay. We love living in the Treasure Valley. We love the city of Boise, and we love being part of this program. So it was a blessing when it came.
What do you make of the matchup on Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. UCLA does some difficult things on offense, and they pose some problems in the run game, and then they can do some things in the pass game that can get you a little off track. And you never know what personnel is going to be out there. They've had a lot of different quarterbacks roll through who all have played really good football. Each of them have a little different style, so it's some different things to get ready for.
It's been a memorable season already. What would it mean for this program to finish this off with a ninth win on Saturday?
Well, I think just what we talked about all season long. The goal was always to win a conference championship and a bowl game. And do it the right way. So I think it would mean everything. It would mean everything for these seniors to finish off this season that they started. And, it didn't go their way early in the year, and they kept fighting. And to finish it off that way, I think will be special for the whole team and those seniors.
Do you think this team's motivated to want to do that?
Absolutely. These guys it's an unbelievable group of young guys. They don't need motivation. I mean, they come out every day and they work through the hard times, they work through the good times, and they'll be ready to play on Saturday.
There he is, Eric Chenander. And Jay, we don't cover a lot of other teams, so I don't know the answer to this, but it seems like Boise State's got a pretty good group of dudes on the coaching staff, just guys that are fun to talk to and give you good quotes. And again, maybe that's just college football in general, but it does seem like there's never a guy where it's like, oh, we're talking to this coach today or all this. It just seems like the whole group. And I think I put Eric Chenander near the top of that list.
Yeah, it is a good group. It is. One of the best sound bites is moving on, unfortunately, with Kane Ione going down to Nevada. Has that been officially announced yet? I don't has it? I don't know if I've
seen that. I don't know.
Yeah, either way, he's going to be the next defensive coordinator at Nevada. And I don't want to jump to conclusions or anything like that, but we were talking the other day, BJ, and I know that Kane wants to make sure that he's progressing in this profession and things like that. And so I don't know if that was a tough decision that Spencer had to make or not, but it certainly seems like that was the case with Eric Chenander being elevated to defensive coordinator at Boise State. Remind you that Kane Ione was the co-defensive coordinator with Spencer Danielson this past season. So,
yeah.
But it seems like they care. It seems like it's authentic. It seems like, whether it be Bush or Eric, they really, more than anything, just wanted to stay in the city of Boise. They love it. They like the community, and they really like their players. So, yeah, I'm happy for those guys that they don't have to move around again, especially because it would have been a one stop or a 1 year thing for Eric, because he only arrived here last year, and now they get to hang out a little bit longer. And we just to reiterate, man, like these contracts, they are the most lucrative that they have handed out to assistant coaches in school history.
Yep.
$880,000 over 2 years for Eric Chenander. It's interesting. It's $440 year one, $440 year two. No escalator there. At least that's the term sheet that you and I received on this one, BJ. And as for Bush Hamden, $460 year one, $480 year two, for a total of $940,000 over a 2 year window. At that point in time, BJ, might as well make it an even mill, right?
Yeah. I'm not too far away, probably, but
yeah. But hey, that day's coming. That day's coming where Boise State's going to have $1 million coordinator. Or at least his contract will be worth $1 million.
So both coordinators in the fold. We'll find out here moving forward in terms of the position coaches. We were both there on Tuesday before the team flew to LA, and I asked Spencer Danielson, do you expect most of the staff to be back? And he said yes. So I would suspect they're going to start to trickle out that a lot of these other guys are being retained. And then again, they are looking for a safeties coach and a linebackers coach as of now. So you're going to have a new look on that defense next season, even with Chenander taking over, but then 2 new coaches, potentially 2 new guys from the outside. And that gives Spencer Danielson a chance, I still think, to go find his guys, so to speak, and bring in some guys that he knows on the defensive side of the ball and see what happens there. So we'll see when all those kind of get I don't know if there'll be any more today. I think I just wanted to get the coordinators out there, and then I would suspect early next week, Jay, leading into signing day, probably get a lot of the other assistant coach hirings. I did want to talk to you, Jay, briefly about the scheduling agreement that came out yesterday, but I do want to take a quick time out. We got 178 of you, and that number keeps climbing, still watching this, so we appreciate you. Going to take a quick 90-second timeout. Your thoughts on Oregon not coming to the Blue, your thoughts on the Mountain West schedule next year, and obviously your thoughts on this game tomorrow. Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat, and we're back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Jay, off from the schedule next year, Colorado State and New Mexico. Added to the schedule, San Diego State and Washington State. Both those games are at home, by the way. San Diego State, you weren't even supposed to play. You now get them at home. Washington State, we weren't sure if that'd be home or road. You now get them at home as well. And then a home game against UNLV now turned to a road game against UNLV, which no argument, no crying over spilled milk for that one from me. Another weekend trip to Vegas. We'll take that. Overall, what do you make of the changes? We'll get to the Oregon thing in a minute, but just the conference schedule next year, the way it shapes up for Boise State. I mean, you do play at Oregon. You play Oregon State and Washington State at home. I mean, the home schedule is going to be one of the best it's been in a while. But from a competitive standpoint, getting rid of New Mexico and adding in San Diego State, getting rid of Colorado State, adding in Washington State, I mean, this is not going to be an easy schedule for Spencer Danielson's first year next year.
Yeah, I think more than anything, this schedule is going to kind of be impacted in 2025, BJ, where the 2024 home slate looks awesome. You get Oregon State on the blue, Washington State on the blue, San Diego State's coming to town. Utah State is supposed to be the regional rival, according to the Mountain West of the Broncos. So there are some really nice matchups on the blue next season that I think should have season ticket holders really excited about that. In 2025, that's where it gets a little probably more confusing, just because we don't know if that this Mountain West agreement with Washington State and Oregon State is going to extend past 2024. I anticipate that it probably will for at least one more year, but I hate predicting anything or even attempting to do that when it comes to realignment, because maybe there could be a massive shift or something like that. But I don't think you can really complain too much, man, to lose New Mexico, at least from an entertainment standpoint, right? To lose New Mexico and add San Diego State. I think every fan would agree that's a nice swap. And the chance to go back down to Las Vegas again, that's a win for the Broncos and for Bronco Nation, I feel. And my opinion, I threw out a quick Twitter poll. I know it's not like exact science or anything there, but I was really shocked. 95% are locked, loaded, and ready to go on the 2024 schedule. They're pretty stoked about it. There were very few that found something to complain about with that schedule.
Jay, we're doing so good today that our friend TJ here just sent us $20 through YouTube. So TJ, not sure why, but appreciate that. Maybe if I find a rare moment where Jay's not working later today, I can buy him a beer or something on your behalf.
TJ, you're the man, dude. Wow.
Yeah, thank you, TJ. I'll split that with Jay on his next check here.
Are you sure it's not all for me? Because TJ, my initials are JT. That's
my name is included first in the hashtag, so it might be all for me if you want to be like that. So we'll see. But no, seriously, TJ, appreciate that. Very nice of you. We are having fun doing this, and I think that the schedule, that was the big news, Jay. And I think from that standpoint, it is certainly a positive. Next year's schedule is going to be more than good enough to get in that playoff if you're the top group of 5 team. I think it was. I think the fact that you do get Washington State and Oregon State at home, I think is a big deal. In terms of trying to win those games.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw John Rothstein. I think this makes sense. I think we all assume this would probably happen, but John Rothstein said that they're in negotiations having both those teams join for basketball next year as well. And that would actually be conference members. They would actually compete in the Mountain West Conference for basketball next year because they really don't have anywhere to go at this point for basketball. And that would be a 1-year deal, and we'll see how that goes. But the initial positivity of the schedule, Jay, buried about 4 or 5 paragraphs in the release, mentioned that they were getting out of the Oregon was getting out of the game in Boise. And I know there was a lot of, as expected, a lot of disappointed folks, a lot of folks taking some social media jabs at Jeremiah Dickey for losing another big home game. But the math is that, and the way the contract is written, is Oregon could have backed out for the 3-game series for $1 million. So if Oregon wanted to cancel all 3 games for $1 million, they could have. They instead asked to just get out of the game in Boise, and they raised their offer by over $1 million to pay Boise State to play the games in 2024 and 2026. So sure, it sucks. You're Oregon. You got the money to pay. We'll just get them to come 2 times our place. We don't have to go to their place. Ha ha. And yeah, that's true, and that does suck from that standpoint. But Boise State gets $1.2 million in 2024. They get $1.4 million in 2026. They get 2 regional road games, and there was no option for Jeremiah Dickey. Literally, the alternative was, no, we're not giving up our 2025 home game. They go, okay, we'll see you. Here's your $1 million. Go away. And all 3 games would have been canceled. Instead, Boise State gets the 2 road games still and gets the $2.6 million and gets 2 quality road games. And it is just the way it is. So it's not awesome. It's another key home game that has been lost for Boise State, but this one really had Jeremiah Dickey had his hands tied. There literally was nothing he could have done to change this.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at it this way. The assistant salary pool for Spencer Danielson, right, BJ, is slightly less than what they will be receiving from Oregon to go play football games there. I mean, I think that Boise State came away with a win here. And I know that fans don't love the fact that they're not going to get to see Oregon on the blue. But you know what? They add Oregon State and Washington State on the blue this year. Hopefully that's some type of consolation. No, they're no longer Pac-12 members, but they are Pac-2 members. And I think that at least for the time being, that the chance to beat that type of team is going to carry a little bit of extra weight within the eyes of Bronco Nation. So I think this is a big time win. The one thing that I don't love about, and I meant to add this a second ago, BJ, the one thing that could be kind of tough for the 2024 schedule is Boise State is supposed to open up at Georgia Southern. That was prior to Mr. Dickey
special, baby.
That's a weird matchup. I'm not going to lie. I think that we all kind of saw that's a interesting game to sign up for, and it's not necessarily the fear of losing it or anything, BJ. It's just the season opener across the country. Like you're just going to kind of be playing catch up from the jump. It feels like next season when it comes to cross country travel.
By the way, it's not the weirdest one I saw. I saw the University of Missouri Tigers, SEC. They're playing at UMass next year.
Wow. Okay, that
Please
is
tell me they got a home and home with UMass. Please tell me about that one. But
that's interesting.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Not the worst.
But I agree. It makes no sense. I know they kind of recruit a little bit in that area. It's they like going down there.
Very little.
2025, they're going to open up at South Florida. That makes a little more sense, or at least in Florida, and it's a little more of a name program. Mm-hmm. When they did the deal with Georgia Southern, I believe they were coming off a 9 or 10 win season. They were a little better team at that point, but I agree that it makes no sense. It's weird. The thing I would say, and sorry to cut you off, Jay, is a lot of people have asked me this, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just they can't find anybody, but the one way to change that would be to add a week 0 game. You are playing Hawaii on the road next year, so you are allowed, if you wanted to take away one of your bye games or one of your bye weeks and add another game that week before. So if you could find another team that'd be willing to come to the Blue, you could play August 24th or whatever it is, a home game on the Blue, and then go to Georgia Southern week 2. I'm not sure if that makes it easier or harder, because then you still have to turn around and play Oregon the next week. Maybe they're going to try to get the Georgia Southern game moved to a Friday or something, give them some extra time on the back end. I don't know. It's a little harder when you're the road team versus when you're the home team. But the way the schedule breaks down next year, they're going to have 2 bye weeks, Jay, just because of the number of days between with Labor Day and all that. So as of now, you have 2 bye weeks.
Yep. Big fan. Massive fan. Love 2 bye weeks. Let's do it every year.
But which it doesn't, I mean, for how much people love college football, like why wouldn't you just move it up a week and let everybody have an extra? It's like the NFL. They added the extra game or whatever, but they added the extra weeks, and now you get 18 weeks of an NFL season. Like, why not add a second bye week? Let coaches have an extra week to recruit. Let players have an extra week to get healthy in the middle of the season.
Let
and then
sports guys have an extra week to maybe take a breather.
Yeah. And
this is about us. This is about us, BJ.
That was implied. But I mean, I think from a health standpoint, like I know it's an extra week of practice. It's an extra week in the fall. You're starting a week earlier, taking a week away from their summer in July or whatever. I get all that. But I do think that there'd be some opportunities where it would make some sense from a football perspective, and fans would get an extra week of a full slate of college football, even though your team would have an extra bye week. But either way, they can take the 2 byes next year, Jay, or if they wanted to, which my understanding is as of a couple weeks ago when I checked in was not the plan, or at least at that point wasn't the plan, you can add another home game to the schedule. And the problem is they're already playing an FCS school in Portland State. So you can't just go get Idaho State or Idaho or somebody like that. You would have to add a Division I game, an FBS game. And at this point, there's just not a lot of teams that are probably willing to go on the road to Boise State to open up the season. But that is an option.
In a 0 week themselves. I mean, they would have to disrupt their season.
So that is an option they have. And then don't forget, Jay, I know people are looking at that September 14th week as an off week because the Portland State game is the 21st. That could be a bye, which, let's be honest, might not be the worst idea. You play 2 straight road games, you get a bye, reset, and then you have the home opener. Also very likely, and they've done this numerous times, you just get a Mountain West home game slid in there. I doubt it would be a road game, but you'd get a Mountain West game slid in there early in the season, and then your byes would come. But there are 2 byes. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to have one after week 2 and then reset. But that is an interesting scheduling quirk with that Georgia Southern game mixed in there.
Right. And that game's just not going to move like that. They're not going to flip venues. Like it's just, and I don't know what magic they can work, but from my understanding, that's just not going to happen right now. And so I guess where I was going with this is if you can't move the Georgia Southern venue, so you're going to open up on the road on August 31st, then you go to Eugene now a week later on September 7th. that September 14th date just becomes interesting, because if it is a bye, or maybe another road game, which would really, really surprise me, you're looking at September 21st, week 4 of the college football season, against Portland State as the 2024 home opener for the Broncos. And, if it has to be that way, they'll do that. And I know Boise State is innovative, and they're going to do, if there is that bye week, week 3, I bet you they come up with something fun that might be, might involve fans or something like that. But it wouldn't, it would be, I'm not going to call it a buzzkill or anything, because it's college football season, like, whatever. It would be less than ideal, though not ideal, if Boise State were to have to wait until essentially week 4 to play their home opener, though. That's not ideal, I would say. But anyways,
you beat Georgia Southern and you go to Autzen and beat Oregon. It'll be the anticipation would be super high. So,
well, I will say this: Jeremiah Dickey is very methodical with his non-conference scheduling, and a lot of what he does has a rhyme and a reason to it, to where, again, you look at a Georgia Southern matchup or an East Carolina matchup, and some of these it seems like they were just adding people on the schedule because they were available. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason.
Thankfully, the East Carolina one got canceled. That made no sense either.
So Jeremiah has a nice rhyme or reason to this, and I will say this definitely is not at the top of the list of why any of this is happening, BJ. Mm-hmm. But at one point you're looking at this when Jonathan Smith was still at Oregon State, and you're like, well, Georgia Southern cross country road trip, it's not just like a gimme,
Yeah.
And then you come back and you play Oregon State on the blue against a team that was in the top 15 for a good portion of the year with a head coach in Jonathan Smith, and then you have to go to Autzen. Like the doomsday scenario there would have been kicking off the Spencer Danielson era with a tough record. Now it seems like it could be much more manageable, to where you're going to be favored at Georgia Southern. You're going to be a big underdog in Eugene. Just is what it is. Dylan Gabriel's now going to transfer there and is probably going to be a front runner to win the Heisman next year, playing for the Ducks. And then you have a bye week before you host Portland State, so you feel pretty good.
Dylan Gabriel can't even win in Lawrence, Kansas. Boise State can go there and win. If Dylan Gabriel came into Lawrence, Kansas and left with an L, the same thing can happen when Boise State goes into Autzen.
Fair enough.
By the way, they haven't announced the weeks of the game. The conference schedule is not out yet. I don't know where Devo Bronx saw this. It says Wyoming and Laramie on Thanksgiving weekend. I don't think that's been decided unless you have some sources that we don't. Georgia State, obviously Oregon. Yeah, they are at Hawaii, but it won't be till somewhere in early March. Usually it's around the Mountain West basketball tournament in early March when the actual order of the games and the weekends are set. So unless I missed something, Jay, I don't think Wyoming and Laramie. You might have just been looking at the order of the game, like the list. They literally listed the games in alphabetical order or something, and that's the last game. I don't know, but that has not been set yet.
By the way, Devo Bronk, you're a great fan. Love the interaction. God, I hope you're wrong on that.
Yes.
That just sounds like the worst possible scenario, playing in Laramie, not only in late November, but on Thanksgiving weekend. Please, scheduling gods, do not allow that game to happen on Thanksgiving weekend in Laramie. That sounds miserable.
By the way, I wasn't going to put this on the screen, but TJ did say I'm supposed to treat you to a cold beer. So
let's go, TJ.
There you go. Appreciate you again, TJ. Jay, I do want to hear briefly, and I want to talk. We talked, defense a little bit with Shenander. I do want to talk offense a little bit, and CJ Tiller and his, mindset and what we think we're expecting from him going into this game. I got a soundbite from a couple of the offensive players I want to get to. We got a few minutes left here. We got to get to this charity event here in a little bit, but I do want to take one more quick 90-second timeout, and then we'll wrap it up talking about CJ Tiller here after the break. Don't go anywhere. Back in 90 seconds. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State Athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, Jay, one of the big storylines, obviously going into tomorrow's game, CJ Tiller expected to make his first start. I think we'll hopefully get that confirmed 100% by today by Spencer Danielson at the press conference. But he said it was as of Tuesday. That was the plan going into this game, was to start CJ Tiller at quarterback. We have tried with the media, like we have tried numerous other things this week, and CJ Tiller was not made available to the media this week. So, that'll be something post-game, I guess. We'll have to get his thoughts on this. But I did have a quote from Austin Bolt I wanted to play here in just a second because I thought it was a little just, noteworthy in terms of, this guy was recruited to be here. Had some other offers, wanted to be here. And I know some guys wait their turn a little more than others, but this team is very confident that CJ Tiller is ready to go out and lead this offense. And what's just I know we've had all week, 2 weeks to think about this since Taylon Green left, Jay, as we're about 30 hours or whatever it is from kickoff here, 32 hours. What's your feeling, I guess, on CJ Tiller and this offense?
As I put together the pregame show, BJ, it still seems surreal. I'm looking at highlights from the Mountain West Conference Championship game 2 weeks ago, and you see TG10 there balling out, and that's just not going to be an option. It no longer is an option. He is at the University of Arkansas now, getting ready to compete for the starting job as a Razorback. And earlier this week, too, I don't know if you saw, but KJ Jefferson, I believe their starter for a long time now, announced he's coming back.
That was a parody account.
Oh, it was?
That was his same announcement he used last year.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I had a couple people. I didn't even know if I saw that. I just had a couple people tweet at me.
Unless it happened again with the real one. The one I saw was a parody account, and because his tweet said something about I'm fine being third string or something. So I think it was a parody account.
I didn't see that one. I don't think I saw that one. Because that would have
big graph. It was like it said something to do with that. Maybe folks on social media can let us know if that's the case.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? And you know what? Good for them if they want to do this, but you see a lot of people without any eligibility left saying I'm announcing that I'm declaring for the NFL draft. I'm like, you don't have any eligibility. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the moment they want to experience on social media where they have a graphic that says that.
Yeah.
Good for you if that's the case. Anyway,
that'll happen from somebody at Boise State in a week or two here.
Probably.
So you better have the same feeling then.
I guess I will. Anyway, CJ Tiller. It is Tiller time. I can't help but, notice that whenever you talk with Boise State football players, they all mention that he's young. And I think there's meaning behind that. He's probably not perfect. There are probably some growing pains that they're experiencing. You also hear a lot of guys talk about his arm talent, say that it is elite, great arm talent. And so I don't think it's a matter of physical ability for CJ. I think it's a matter of, when he gets in the game, and the bullets are flying, how is he going to be able to process all that? I can only assume the game is going to feel very, very fast for him, and it would for any true freshman trying to play in a football game. It would, but I'm so eager to see how this goes, BJ. And this is going to be, this is kind of this is a really big moment, a really big game, because all of a sudden, if CJ Tiller proves as a true freshman that he can handle the moment, then now all of a sudden you're going into this next season, what you line up and how you approach the quarterback position could look very differently. I definitely expect Boise State to hit the portal on a quarterback. I do. And I've had people reply to me on Twitter after saying stuff like that, like what happened to, trusting the guys you have in the program and the love that Spencer Danielson says that he wants to lead with and all these things. I get that, but I know, right? Do you think it's weird? Is that what you're saying? Why are you looking at it like that?
Yeah, because I mean, you do it. Yeah,
you got to do what's best for the team.
By adding it, you don't just not add anybody because you have faith in Colt Fulton and whoever else. That,
right.
No, you have to go get the best available players, no matter however you can.
Maybe even more so that important than next year is the spring. Like, you got to have a guy in there that can help this offense learn and grow and not just be stagnant. And I guess what I mean by that is, again, I've been told that Maddox Matson in some capacity is going to be back in the spring. And maybe that's just him being super duper optimistic, and that's fine. I'm not saying he's going to be out there in full contact during the spring scrimmage, letting it fly. I don't believe that to be the case, but the 2024 season opener, it certainly does not appear to be in jeopardy for Maddox Matson, I guess, is my main point, BJ. But either way, you could be going through a big portion of next spring with Colt Fulton, who's never thrown a pass in a game before. I mean, the 2-point conversion, gosh, this is like impossible to just say he's never thrown a pass before. He has thrown a pass, 2-point conversion, doesn't count on his stats because it was a 2-point conversion. CJ Tiller's never thrown a pass in a game before. He will soon, but never thrown a pass in a game before. Then you have a walk-on in Max Cutforth, and then you have another true freshman that's committed to the upcoming recruiting class. That would be a really tough position to go into next spring with just that available to you. Again, at the moment, none of those guys have thrown any significant amounts of passes or any real passes in a college football game before. And so that's why I do expect Boise State to hit the portal and add somebody with a little bit of experience. And even if CJ Tiller throws for upperclassmen, for that matter.
But even if CJ Tiller throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns tomorrow, I still think you have to add somebody else.
I do.
It's just smart football and smart coaching. You're not going to make a decision 100%. On next year's starter based on this game tomorrow. But with that said, I think the opinion of CJ Tiller amongst fans, the opinion amongst CJ Tiller amongst Bush Hamdan and this coaching staff, he certainly would put himself in a better position to have a chance to compete for that job if he were to go play well tomorrow.
1,000%. And that is exactly where I'm at on this one. Do you still have to go get a transfer portal QB that has experience? Yes. If CJ plays well tomorrow, might that eventually end up being irrelevant because he beats them out? That could certainly happen, but it all begins tomorrow. Like, this is his first opportunity to really begin a leg up on the competition, as the 2024 quarterback battle is, weeks away, I guess, from really beginning.
By the way, we found John Mallory's burner account. It is TJ because he says grab Peasley from Wyoming in the portal. I know that's Johnny's guy from LeGrand going back in the day. So we finally found our John Mallory burner account.
I think that there's going to be some exciting names that eventually turn up in the portal. And I think that short turnaround for the bowl game. Yes, signing day is not that far away, but I just think that there's going to be some traction after the bowl game. There's been fans that have wondered why they haven't heard anything. I guess I can't guarantee. I mean, I believe it, man. Like, I believe that they're doing something right now in the portal, or at least when it comes to recruiting, that quarterback position. And I think it becomes a little more transparent once we get through the bowl game, just because the turnaround has just been so gosh darn short.
Here's a quick bite from Austin Bolt talking about CJ Tiller.
I'm very confident. You can tell he cares. He wants to be great for this program. He wants to be great, not just for himself, but for, the seniors and all of us other guys. So when you see that in a kid, it's like you got to back the kid up and let him do his thing because, he's here to play quarterback. That's what we recruited him for. He was a very good recruit out of high school. So we're just going to haul his back. And, it's going to be his first college game. So we got to just help him keep his confidence up and just keep letting him do his thing because he's a very good quarterback. And we all believe that he has a very, very good capable to make a big impact in this game.
All right, Jay, I still have an interview I need to play with Riley Smith and Billy Bowens, but I'll let you get out of here. Just your final thoughts on. We got plenty to get to. Just because Jay's leaving, you don't have to leave if you're watching the show. For some reason, when Jay gets off, but
I bet
it drops off right when it ends. So
that's obviously not true.
I almost just tricked everybody and just told you to leave, Jay, during the clip, so they'd still be here. But before we play our Element Fencing Billy Bowens Riley Smith interview. I'm hoping maybe if we can work this out, Jay, get you for 10 minutes tomorrow morning, even if we need to tape this. We're going to do our pregame show in the morning, so we're not competing with you guys. It's also just, to be completely honest, way less of a hassle than try to go live from the stadium before the game. And So I think tomorrow morning we'll get a pregame show extravaganza. We may hopefully connect with Jay for a few minutes, not a full appearance, but just to get some game day thoughts, as I know it'll be a busy morning for you too. But just your thoughts as of now, 30 hours from kickoff on this game. Your final thoughts.
I honestly, I felt like this is going to be an uphill battle for Boise State. UCLA's lost a ton out of the portal, or into the portal, I should say. But they do have a quarterback that's certainly capable of riding the ship, or at least stabilizing it for one more game. And so, CJ Tiller's the kind of the wild card here, man. If he can handle it, then I like Boise State's chances. If he can't, if the moment's too big, if he's just a little too young, then it could be a really tough day. But with George Helani, Ashton Genty, and that offensive line, I think it's going to be pivotal, more so than ever, for Boise State to stay ahead of the chains. And if they can do that, they have a chance. My gut's kind of starting to tell me, BJ, as you kind of see, like, all of a sudden the betting people in the world start to weigh in on this matchup, and they're saying, oh man, this is all UCLA. Like, Boise State doesn't have, I saw something this morning where it's like Boise State just doesn't have any offensive talent left. I'm like, well, Ashton Genty might be the best running back in the country, so I'm definitely not going to value your opinion on this. But it just feels like
lose McAllister and their quarterback. I mean, there's some truth. They've lost some firepower the last month. Yeah,
they have, but I think they've done a decent job of replacing EMAC. In all honesty, the biggest one is going to be the quarterback position, because Maddox Matson's not there either. But they still have Ashton Genty in the backfield. They still have George Helani, and they still have an incredible offensive line. The tight ends have been playing pretty good as of late. So I guess what I'm just saying is my gut is almost starting to be like, maybe Boise State actually is going to go get this thing, because once you start to hear too many people think that they know the right side of the betting line, usually they are wrong, because as I've said before, there are a lot of cool casinos and a lot of cool hotels and a lot of cool bright lights that just continue to be added to the Las Vegas Strip. They're not built on their own, BJ. So that's why I'm almost kind of starting to think that I like the Broncos here.
John says, how many beer tips to keep Tust alive for another hour? So today's not the day, unfortunately. We got a really busy day today. We got in about an hour, we got to be over at this middle school. I'll be honest, Jay, I have one goal for today. I got to get a soundbite from Rob Gronkowski.
I know.
Maybe it's I don't know why. Maybe that's a dumb goal for today, but I'm going to be at two different events that he's going to be at. I know that Johnny and Prater tried, and he turned down. They did not make him available on radio.
Does that surprise you?
I don't know if being at the event and trying to grab him real quick. I mean,
I heard that Gronk was all in, and then he was like, "Who's interviewing me?" And they said Johnny Ball, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
That rumor was going around. I wasn't going to say anything about that on the air, but there are three events today. There's a charity event this morning at a local middle school. There's the press conference with both head coaches, and then there's
the press conference at SoFi.
It is.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
It is. And then after the press conference, they're going to let the media go out and get some shots of the field and the painting that is done now on the field. We'll see if this coincides with a press conference today for the Chargers firing their coach. Maybe we can step in and get Kellen Moore at the same time.
Dude,
there at SoFi Stadium.
That hit me last night, man. I was like, what if we're here and Kellen is named the interim Chargers coach?
Johnny's watching by the – you just got Johnny and he's
Let's go, ball game. Miss you, buddy.
All right, but Rob Gronkowski's my goal today. Jay, we'll see if we can get it done. It worked down in Dallas. We tag teamed and got Jason Garrett after the press conference. Maybe we need to try to do that today and see if we can get Rob Gronkowski to do a little Boise media scrum real quick. And
I got your back, man.
Get something done. But we're gonna hear from Riley Smith and Billy Bowens. We're gonna let Jay go, and Jay, we'll be talking to you soon and seeing you in about an hour, man.
Sounds good, brother.
Appreciate it. There he is, Jay Tust. He's got a lot going on. We appreciate him for joining us. And again, let's hear from Riley Smith and Billy Bowens, our Element Fencing interview. We are live in Los Angeles. Again, elementfencing.com. Check them out. Family-owned, local fence company. Been around for more than 15 years. Residential, commercial, cedar fence, decks, outdoor rooms, sheds, pergolas, whatever you need. Elementfencing.com. Check them out. 631-2790. Awesome local company, and they're helping with an NIL deal here for Riley Smith, who's doing some interviews for us. And let's hear from Riley Smith interviewing Billy Bowens, our Element Fencing BNN correspondent.
What's up, guys? This is Riley Smith here at the LA Bowl, interviewing one of my favorite teammates and my roommate, superstar receiver number 18, Billy Bowens here. So we're going to start out, Bill. This is your last game as a Bronco. What are you most excited about to do on the field? as the last time repping the Broncos?
Yeah, I'm just super happy that we're like playing in California. You know, I could go play in front of all my fans, my family, you know, everyone that's close to home to me. You know, I got a lot of people coming out. I'm excited about this one and one opportunity to play in that blue and orange.
I love it. He's going to ball out. It's going to be a great time. And what's next after this? I mean, we've been in college together all 6 years. We picked up a bunch, but you got a bright future. So what are you on after this year?
Yeah, definitely want to keep training, go after my dream, and that's playing the next level, playing in the NFL. So I'm definitely going to train and declare and see how that goes.
And we know our time here hasn't been exactly just straight easy. We've faced a lot of adversity, gone through a lot of ups and downs. We've learned a lot of life lessons. What's something that you could take from Boise State, your 6 years here, that you can carry in to the rest of your time and your future?
Just being a good person. You know, if Boise's taught me anything, it's how to be a good person. And that will take you, you know, miles and miles ahead of other people in life, you know. So just being someone who's a good-hearted person, you know, I'm a firm believer in you do good, the good things will happen to you and the people you love. So just always treat people with respect and act with class.
No doubt. And that's why we all love Bill. And another question is, like I said, we've been here 6 years. We never knew each other. We stepped on campus, became best friends. What's your favorite thing that you've done in your 6 years at Boise State?
I think when you took me snowboarding, you know, for the first time, you know, I'm not really good at that, and these guys took it easy on me. Not really. They took me on the hardest slopes they could find the first try, but it was a really fun experience, and once I picked it up, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll try to find the videos to leak them out. It was a good time. It was funny, but we brought them out, had a good time, man. It was awesome. And last question, what has been your favorite bowl experience from this week?
Probably today. You know, we went to Universal Studios, and that was really fun. Got on every single ride. That was my goal. Accomplished. I'm not a big guy who likes to ride roller coasters, but those are manageable, so had a little fun, and I'm glad I did.
Dope. That's our time with Billy Bowe, superstar. He's going to ball out tomorrow, so stay tuned. But thank you, Element Fencing, for making this all possible, and stay tuned for the rest with Boise State football.
There he is. I cut him off early. Sorry about that, Riley. But Riley Smith, we appreciate him. And again, elementfencing.com, kind of a new thing. You never would have thought when I got in this business that you could pay an athlete to do an interview for you. And that's kind of where we're at now. And so hope you guys are enjoying, you know, not the perfect videography, not the perfect, you know, questions, whatever, but he's a college kid doing the best he can. I think he's doing an awesome job. And we appreciate Riley Smith and also Mike Walsh and the crew over at Boise State, David and company, and Patrick for helping, you know, make this possible, that we're getting some interviews, you know, in the middle of bowl week here. But elementfencing.com, again, if you're looking for a new fence, a deck, a pergola, a shed, check them out, elementfencing.com. We appreciate them, a new, you know, company that we're just starting with here at Bronco Nation News, and we're excited and we're thankful for them. Perry wants to see the snowboard videos. Robbie says you're hiring Riley after he graduates, right? We got to see what's in store for Riley, but if he's looking for a job, him and DJ Schramm both, I think, would make an awesome awesome tandem if we wanted to get something going here. So, yeah, it's just a new era with NIL and the fact that we can get Riley on board as a correspondent. We do have another interview coming today, which we'll have on the pregame show tomorrow. So, pretty cool that we were able to get that done. And again, elementfencing.com. We appreciate them for their support and help of this new wave of NIL and college athletics, where you can literally pay an athlete at the bowl game to send you back some interviews and stuff. It's kind of cool how it worked out, and happy that we could make it work. And again, Element Fencing wrote that check directly to our man Riley Smith, and so we appreciate them and hope that you will, you know, if you're looking for a new fence, I'm actually in need of a new gate on the side of my house, and I'm going to be trying to work with them after we're done with this, and because I want to thank them for doing this deal and helping us with Riley Smith. And so if you have any more ideas, if you're a business owner, if you're just a fan, if you have any ideas on ways that BNN can continue to, you know, add to our coverage and enhance our coverage and maybe involve the NIL game as well, we're all ears moving forward here. We want to see how we can do this. We obviously have the Tyson Degenhardt show going thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union, and we're interested in seeing what else is out there moving forward here at Bronco Nation News. So again, the lowdown for today, we got 3 interviews or 3 different media things. We're going to be working straight here from now until about 7 p.m. tonight with going from one event to the next. We have a middle school event. Rob Gronkowski will be there. Some of the injured players and red shirts from both teams will be there, hoping to catch up with Maddox Madsen. If he is there, we'll see who else shows up. I assume the guest list, by the way, usually these charity events, if it's the middle school, it's maybe a little bit of time that guys aren't super crazy about going sometimes. But now that Rob Gronkowski is going to be there, I would bet that there's some more players fighting over who can get on that list to go to the charity event. But there's going to be a middle school event. I think they're going to be doing some playing some sports and things outside with some of the middle school kids. And I believe some players from both teams, and Rob Gronkowski will be out there playing with the kids as well. And then there's a press conference with Chip Kelly and Spencer Danielson at 2 o'clock Pacific time here. So 3 o'clock back in Boise, Chip Kelly and Spencer Danielson with the press conference. That will be live on YouTube, the Bowl YouTube. I don't think we are streaming it, but we'll get the video up as well. But I believe that the LA Bowl is going to have that on their YouTube. And then 5:30 today, 6:30 back in Boise is the pep rally right outside the stadium. And you're going to have both bands there. The Keith Stein Blue Thunder Marching Band is actually staying at my hotel here. Saw the buses pull in last night. And then you're going to have a dance-off, apparently on the press release, a dance-off between Buster Bronco, the Bruins mascot, and Rob Gronkowski up there on the stage. So Rob Gronkowski will be at the pep rally firing people up, and we'll do our best. Make sure you're checking BNN Bronco Nation on Twitter, at BJ Rains on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We'll do our best to get as much content out today as we can. I'm a one-man band down here for Bronco Nation News, so I'll do the best I can to get as much social media video of Gronk and the players and the press conference and all that stuff out all day. So just be checking our social media, and we'll get out there what we can. I will make one more final plea. If you are able to, we would love to have you help. Not a cheap trip to come down here on 1 week notice to stay in LA for a week for bowl coverage. So if you're able to help us out, BNN 50 deal is our current coupon code. It's just $50. BNN 50 deal. You pay $50. It's a one-time fee, and you get an entire year of subscription and coverage at Bronco Nation News for $50. And again, that takes off $20 off the original price, and then it renews for $70 for every year after that. But your first year is only $50, and you're helping our travel costs, helping out what we're trying to do, and pay folks like Riley Smith to get involved. Jay Tust that just came on, I have to pay him for those appearances. So help us out if you can, and if you are able, we'd love to have you. And again, that you can do the monthly option as well. I think that's $6.99, but the yearly option, one-time fee, get it over with, and then that allows us to you to be entered in some cool contests we're doing. We are giving away a private jet trip down to San Diego for the final basketball game of the season. Yes, you heard that correctly. A private jet, you and a special guest on a private jet, going to San Diego, staying at the team hotel, watching the game, conference title on the line, hanging out at the beach for a little bit. It's going to be an amazing trip, and we're giving that away as part of a yearly subscription for all of our yearly subscribers. You're have a chance to win that. So we hope you'll jump in, and that's one of the benefits. And starting with the new year, every Friday we'll be giving away some items from Cutwater Spirits and things as we move forward with that. So a lot of great stuff going on at BNN, and again, we would love to have your help. We're at 929. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so 71 of you would really help us if you could do that. 71 more folks would help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Which if we could do that by the end of basketball season, that would be just a monumental occasion for Bronco Nation News, considering that we're only been around about 2 years or so. So thank you guys for all subscribing. BNN 50 deal. Get that full year of coverage. You can read Mike Prater's column. It is up right now on George Holani, his legacy. How are we going to remember George Holani, years from now? You can read that if you're a subscriber at BroncoNationNews.com. I talked to nearly a dozen coaches and players about CJ Tiller. That story is up at BroncoNationNews.com. You can hear what the players and coaches are saying about CJ going into his first start on Saturday. That is up for subscribers. And, of course, we had Brad Bedell, Kent Riddle, and Winston Venable 90-minute LA Bowl preview show on Monday night from the James. That is a video only available to subscribers, and that link is available on the line if you are a subscriber as well. So TJ says he is in. We appreciate you, TJ. The promo code is BNN50DEAL. BNN50DEAL is the promo code, TJ. Right there at the bottom of the screen, you can see it coming along. You have to click the yearly option at BroncoNationNews.com. There's a little thing that says, do you have a coupon code? You put that in. It's BNN50DEAL. And again, your first year is $50, and then the regular price is $70 right after that every year. So appreciate you guys, and thank you so much. Thank you, TJ, for all you're doing, man, and everybody else that's already a paying subscriber. We truly appreciate you. And if you're on the fence, hopefully the coverage today that we're going to have for the next 12 hours is enough to convince you to join. We will have a special edition pregame show, 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m. tomorrow. We will be live with the pregame show. Wake up, grab your coffee, and no need to turn on College Game Day. We're going to start your game day at 9 a.m. with the pregame show. So just some logistical issues of doing it over at the stadium. So we're going to go ahead and do it tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We'll have special guests. We'll have interviews. We'll have highlights from all the dance-off with Buster and Gronk. So tell your friends, make plans. 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be live with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. And if you are unable to watch it right at 9 a.m., it will be on YouTube after the show is over, and then you can watch it all day leading up to the kickoff at 5:30. So hopefully you'll make plans to join us tomorrow morning at 9, and hopefully you will make plans to go subscribe if you can at BroncoNationNews.com. So all the videos are coming to YouTube. I say this every time, but YouTube is the easiest way, and I know it's confusing because there's a subscription to the website. There's a subscription to YouTube. The YouTube subscription is free. So if you're watching this right now on Twitter or on Facebook, we ask you real quick to when the show ends, switch over to YouTube. It's just youtube.com/Bronco Nation News, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. Or if you go to YouTube and just search Bronco Nation News, it'll pop up. Hit the subscribe button. We're trying to build our YouTube following. We're over 4,200 right now. We're trying to get past 5,000 there as well. So, and that's the easiest way. The program that we use, the platform here, we can only take your comments through the YouTube app. So if you're on YouTube, we can put your comments on the screen. As Jesse says, as long as you keep Riddle, I will stay a subscriber. Kent Riddle's not going anywhere, hopefully. So thank you, Jesse, for saying that. So YouTube is free. It's easy. We'd love for you to subscribe there. And then any of the other ways, Twitter, Facebook as well. And I think we're going to get the Instagram live going here in the near future as well. I don't think I did it correctly today. So again, thank you guys. Tons of coverage all day. We're going to be out seeing Gronk here shortly. That's my goal. My goal is to get a BNN interview with Gronk and see if we can help make the YouTube channel blow up. That's my goal today. My one goal for the day is to somehow get a soundbite from Gronk. We'll see if we can make it happen. I appreciate the Jesse said he had some airline miles we can use next time. Appreciate you, man. We'll be in touch, but that's very nice of you to offer. Thank you so much. TJ says couldn't get the comments to come up on X. Nope. We can only take your comments on YouTube here. So if you want to all of a sudden, jump in and start commenting on the shows and have your comment read by us, you can watch it on Twitter. You can watch it on Facebook, but we can only put your comments on here if you're on YouTube. So that's why we ask you from now on to start watching us on YouTube. So going to be an awesome day. Looking forward to it. Again, the press conference, the pep rally. We got the charity event this morning. So full coverage all day coming to Bronco Nation News social media channels. And again, we'll put it all together and have an extravaganza hour-long plus pregame show. 9 a.m. tomorrow, a special Saturday game day edition of the pregame show. So make plans and join us at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Follow our that's Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. here in Vegas. And then also make plans to check our social media throughout the day for all kinds of content as well. So seriously, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. We'll see you on social media throughout the day, and we'll see you live at 9 a.m. for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. This is BJ Rains signing off temporarily as I make my way over to the charity event here in LA. Busy day, but we're excited, and it's all thanks to you guys for your financial support and your following us on social media and reading our articles and telling your friends and everything. It's been a fun week so far, but a lot to get to. The biggest day is today, and then tomorrow will be even bigger with the game. So follow us on social media. Watch us at 9 a.m. tomorrow for the pregame show, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.